Flashback to my 8th grade English class. The teacher says we're studying film genres. She hands out this worksheet and is going to have us watch a bunch of trailers, and it's our job to classify them. She starts playing things like Lord of the Rings, fantasy, I Am Legend, sci-fi, 2012, a disaster movie. Everything seems to fit pretty neatly into all the categories. Until she plays this.
What, boy?
Bad guys?
Would you want a cookie?
You have Will Smith as this drunk, homeless superhero, flying around, breaking stuff. And then at the end of the trailer, he throws this whale at a boat.
Oh my god.
Hancock. So I remember picking it up at a video store, watching it, and having a good time. It's definitely not a perfect film, but it's one I return to every few years, and it's certainly a guilty pleasure of mine. On my most recent rewatch, I was catching up on all the behind-the-scenes stuff I missed out on, and that's when I ran across this. I then felt the same confused feeling I had when watching the trailer in English class. The 2000s were filled with a lot of licensed video games. I'm talking SpongeBob, Bionicle, Star Wars, and even like 50 Cent had 2 video games somehow. But it was especially true for superhero films, in part because of the success of the Spider-Man and Batman franchises. Curiously, it was around the time Hancock debuted that we started seeing a decrease of these types of games due to increasing cost of game development. Games were getting so expensive to make, and the rate of return on what was essentially a marketing tool for a film was really starting to diminish. I knew Hancock didn't have a licensed console game, so was this like a PC game? Well, kinda. At the end of the trailer there's a link to the website, which doesn't work now. Plugging the website into the Wayback Machine doesn't really help because the website appeared to be powered by Flash and launched into this alternate window that wasn't backed up. I was able to dig up these images of what the website looked like from Google. These come from Trigger LLC, who is actually the developer of the website. It says here that they worked on Flash games and Unity 3D games for Hancock. Another marketing tool that was popular during the 2000s were online Flash games. These were an even cheaper way of marketing your film, TV show, product, whatever, compared to console games. The games were normally pretty basic and designed to be simple, but cost next to nothing and were free on the internet, so people didn't really complain. Eventually things got complex enough that we even got primitive 3D games, almost looking like something out of the PS1 era. Most of these were powered by an engine called 3D Groove. Shout out to Danny Phantom Ghost Sweep, I sunk a lot of time into that one. But toward the tail end of the 2000s, we had a few of these advert games that actually ran on an early version of everyone's favorite engine, Unity. So Trigger LLC made a Unity 3D game based on the film Hancock, and it was stored on a website that hasn't been backed up to my knowledge. And even if we did have it, the website runs on Flash, which isn't sufficiently supported in modern web browsers. So it's lost then? That's what I figured, until I remembered one more option. Before Flash was discontinued in 2020, a group of individuals began work on a project known as the Flashpoint Archive. It was designed to preserve and play Flash projects locally from an application on a PC. I gave it a download, searched for Hancock, and came across this really cool, totally legit looking Russian listing. Looks really safe, guys. In all seriousness, it does actually work. It was clearly backed up from a Russian version of the website. Actually, all of the Hancock Flash games were. They even backed up the website if you want to browse around like it's 2008 and you live in Russia. So after all that, it's finally time to play the game. And is it any good? The game takes place in this little city block. It's not free roaming, but you're given a small section of the city to play in. As Hancock, your goal is to earn as many hero points as possible before the 3-minute timer runs out. You can earn hero points by running through all the checkpoints and by attacking criminals. You're also supposed to limit the amount of financial toll you're causing the city taxpayers. Now, the scale of destructibility is actually kind of impressive for an advert game like this. You can destroy a decent amount of things in the world, including cars, newsstands, traffic lights. The only thing I couldn't destroy were the buildings, which honestly is fair, and for some reason, this tree? The control isn't great. You use the arrow keys to move, but Hancock has these old school tank controls for rotation, and it makes aiming at a specific thing really annoying. Obviously, the graphical detail is something like an early PS2 game, which doesn't look awful, but Hancock's animations are a little weird. He always punches twice when you hit the spacebar, and he's got this thing going on with his walk. Unfortunately, we don't get to listen to Ludacris while playing the game either, but the music track they use here isn't bad. It can get repetitive after a while, but for a short game like this, it gets a pass. So it's probably this point in the video when you're asking, who cares? Should anyone care about this? I mean, we're talking about a short game here that was made to promote a 15-year-old movie. It wasn't designed to really be thought about for more than a few minutes, and it was probably forgotten about after the film finished in theaters. Well, if you ask me, yeah, I think we should care. It may not be a fantastic game, but at the end of the day, it's something that real people at Trigger LLC put time and effort into, and it should be preserved for others. People's memories are connected to things like these, whether they were designed to stand the test of time or not. I remember some of the first games I played were Flash games, and yeah, they're not of the best quality or even some of my best memories, but they are some of the earliest memories I have with video games, and I'm thankful they exist in some form now so I can re-experience them. I got a lot of love for this movie, and I had never played the game until now, but maybe somebody out there watching this video has. Maybe this is one of your gaming memories. And if that's the case, I'm happy to share it. Thanks for watching.